Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Monday, June 30th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with news from Japan. Zack Sabre Jr. regained the IWGP World Heavyweight title last night, defeating Hiroki Goto at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Tanahashi Jam held at the Aichi Prefectural Gymnasium. This is Sabre Jr.'s second run with the belt, which Goto had beaten him for last February. This morning, New Japan issued a statement announcing that Goto suffered a right elbow injury during the match and would miss the company's upcoming show on July 4th. In Sunday's main event, New Japan President Hiroshi Tanahashi teamed with Naomichi Marufuji to defeat Kaito Kiyomiya and Ryohei Oiwa. In other selected results, El Phantasmo retained the New Japan World TV title against Taiji Ishimori, and never openweight champion Oleg Boltin successfully defended against Yuji Nagata. And in WWE news, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter has accused WWE of using a plant in the audience at the Night of Champions kickoff event in Saudi Arabia on Saturday to elicit an apology from CM Punk for his past negative comments about WWE's working relationship with the country. Meltzer insinuated that the seemingly impromptu apology elicited by an interaction with a supposed fan was essentially a worked angle rather than a genuine apology. He was also critical in general of Punk for making the apology.
That obviously was planted. That never, it's really interesting how, they, whatever it was, obviously somebody wanted him to apologize, and he did. Because he's not exactly the apologetic type, for one thing. And if you're going to apologize, I don't know if this is the thing you apologize for, given his, political viewpoints and everything. But, it's money and it's wrestling, and you don't expect wrestlers to have morals. And I'm not saying no wrestlers have morals, but you don't expect it.
Meltzer also went on to suggest that WWE had put Punk on the spot and had not protected him, both by allegedly creating the apology scenario and also by running a segment the previous day on SmackDown when he was initially heavily booed by the Saudi crowd. Post-Wrestling's Neil Flanagan and Wei Ting also questioned the veracity of the interaction during their Post-Wrestling Cafe podcast on Saturday.
Whether this was a genuine interaction or not. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, but the guy with SmackDown hat that sort of looks like it's been given out.
As always in pro wrestling, you are right to be skeptical in a situation like this. I guess we could play out that scenario, but we do have to ask, if they wanted to set the stage for ultimately a CM Punk public apology, would this have been the best way of doing it? Did they need to do this, or could they have simply done something else? Either way, it's healthy to ask these sort of questions.
And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast, and remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.